and welcome in. I hope you are doing well. It has been a minute since I've gone live, and I was debating on if I was going to do this live or pre record, but the stars were lining up for me to come live. But welcome in. I am Coach Sherry, and this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. And, a few weeks ago, I had started sharing opportunities that were paying six figures or more. And I received so many inboxes regarding those opportunities, how they could better position themselves, make themselves that much more attractive to those opportunities. And it was a lot. It was a lot of research, but it was well worth it because so many people found value. And this is what I do. I am a certified career coach. I'm also a marketing coach. I was just talking to someone about their business, and it's just amazing when you are in your realm of things, when you are in your your feel good house or whatever you want to call it, things just start to flow. So when I'm talking to people about things they can do for their business, it just really flows for me. And that's why I'm going to have signature classes around starting your own business. A lot of people talk about, oh, you should start your business. Oh, a business would be good. Oh, you have that product, you should do it. But they don't give you the how. That's the big missing piece, is the how. But I just wanted to come on tonight and talk about remote work because I had quite a few people inbox me about customer service work. And I know a lot of people, especially when they want to work remotely or have a hybrid schedule, they want opportunities that, they don't have to go outside. They may be multitasking, taking care of their young children or family, elderly parents. They may just have anxiety about going back to the office and being amongst all these different types of people. So there are lots of opportunities that will allow you to work remotely, but even with that, there's a lot of competition around that. And I have a dear cousin that watches my videos. I hope he's checking or tuned in tonight. But he told me, look, cuz you're going to have a lot ahead of you, because so many people are losing their jobs. So many people are pivoting outside of their jobs. They're leaving their jobs voluntarily. People are retiring. We have huge waves of people. They call it the gray tsunami of people that are eligible to retire yesterday. And now they're starting to retire today. So there's a lot of people out here looking for their next career. Even though they retired, a lot of people are still young enough and vibrant and innovative enough to want to do something else. So you might find yourself competing against the very young and the more seasoned. But I wanted to just give you some tips and advice on customer service remote jobs, what they entail, where you can find them, and how you can upskill yourself so that you can be more attractive for those opportunities. But again, I am really excited about my signature courses that are coming up to help you start your own business. Because even if you find the perfect customer service job, or you may be in a job that you really enjoy now, it's going to be important for you to have multiple streams, not just to rely on that one job, that one opportunity, but to have multiple streams coming just in case something happens. But it's just always nice to get different types of payments every week, every 2 weeks, or every month. So there's a lot of different ways that, and let me just check real quick. Let me do a pulse check, because I haven't even been on this app in a long time. um, and I'm trying to see. Okay. Well, if you are in here, if you could just let me know, say yes, Coach Sherry, I can hear you just fine, because I can't tell. I really can't. I don't know if I'm too loud, too quiet, what the situation is. So if you could just drop in the chat and let me know, I appreciate that. So let me see, with the advice on working remotely. So, working remotely in customer service is definitely flexible, it's accessible, and it's a great career path for you. There's many different types. Some people say, oh, I just want to, troubleshoot with clients or customers that call in. Well, you also have to consider AI as part of your competition too. So, what does that really look like? But here's some practical advice and guidance. And I hope you have your pen and paper ready so you can write this down, or you could just bookmark this live and tune in later, or share it with your circle, people that you know that are looking for some remote type of work in the customer service area. So let's look at the common remote customer service roles. So, of course, you have the customer service representative, and they also are known as the CSRs, and they handle customer inquiries either by phone, email, or chat. Now, chatbot is part of AI. So if you're not familiar with how chatbot works, you want to figure that out for sure. In many cases, chatbot is the first point of contact that someone would have when they're calling in for, service, for, questions they may have about their product or service. And then if chatbot is unable to answer them, then they will pass them on to you. And so just various industries, just about every industry now has something like that. Then you have the call center agent, and they basically manage the inbound or even outbound calls, often for tech support, healthcare, or financial services. Or if you work for a service industry where, you have field operations that go out and help people in residences or in commercial properties, you might receive those types of calls as well. And you have to think about being able to multitask, listening to the person's challenge, and being able to filter them to the appropriate place. And then you also have the chat email support agent, and they resolve customer issues through written communication channels. And again, AI is starting to do more of that. They are capturing lots and lots of templates of emails so that they can be in the system. They're tabbing them appropriately according to a person's challenge, and are able to just filter it through, the algorithm, through an AI portal. So it happens automatically. They're finding that with the human, it typically takes 24 to 48 hours to get a response. But if they have it automated, it can be instant, just about. I see Sassy just walked in. Sassy, let me know if you can hear me. I'm not sure. I'm like, I see people bouncing in and out playing double dutch, and I'm just not sure if they can hear me or not, but it's really good to see you. I loved your short when you were on the stepper machine. I was like, go ahead, girl, do that thing. Looks like the weather in Colorado was starting to really be like summertime. So that's good too. Thank you for being here. All right. And the next is the customer success manager, and they focus on long term client satisfaction and retention. So they often are in tech companies. So tech companies are always making sure that a person's services are working, that they're doing good. And let me type this message in here to see if she can hear me. Sassy, can you hear me? Let me see. I'm just pausing for the cause. Okay, perfect. You can hear me. Thank you. I wasn't sure. So tech companies, also a lot of car companies, if you notice when you purchase a car, get your car serviced, they are always following up with customer service to make sure that you are satisfied with the job that they have done. Cars and things of that nature, they still do it, but not as much as they used to. And you know what? I think that more companies need to go back to that premise of checking up on the customer even the day or two after they receive the service. Then you have the bilingual support specialist. And if you have are fluent in other languages, when you are working either remotely or in person, wherever you're working, check and see if they have a bilingual bonus, where you would get maybe an extra 5% added to your pay each week or each month or however you get paid, because a lot of jobs are using that as an incentive too, because they know that We live in a very diverse country where there's people from all different backgrounds, and sometimes if you can communicate with them more effectively in their language, that's a bonus, and that actually fares well for the business. So if you are being used because you are bilingual and you're not getting any type of increase, definitely check with your HR to see how you can do that. And being bilingual doesn't mean you were born in that country, you're from that country, you're part of that culture. It may mean that you were in school or you lived around people that spoke that other language and you just became fluent. However, typically, most companies anyway, if you are trying to get that bilingual bonus, they will require that you take a test. And those tests are very, very to the book. A lot of times you may know that you can understand and you can speak the language, but you may be speaking it and listening to others speak it in more of a slang. So if you're trying to get that bilingual bonus and you have to take that test, you have to do it accurately. It's like speaking proper English. You have to speak that proper language in its proper form. And so if you know that you're a little rusty, you may want to get Duolingo or any other AI tool to help you freshen up and brush up on your other language. And then the technical support specialists, they assist customers with troubleshooting and product related questions. So, with the technical support, as well as the customer success manager, call center agent, customer service representative. I know I use all of them quite often. And it's really interesting because they are remote. They used to be in a whole call center, and sometimes they still are. But I'm finding more and more that they are home. And I know this because a couple of times I've heard children in the background, or maybe the beginning of a bark from a dog, and they quickly mute themselves out so you don't hear that. So those are definitely remote opportunities in customer service. And you may be wondering, well, Coach Sherry, all of that is well and good. That's fine. I'm actually very familiar with all of those things, but where else can I find a remote customer service job? And that's a great question. First of all, a lot of people go to Indeed, and Indeed is really almost becoming I don't even know what you would call it, almost a spam site. A lot of people I'm finding when they go to Indeed, they see great opportunities. We don't know what companies are new or emerging or established. And so they shoot their shot, come to find out that the company was a spam, and it was just a rat race. So they get very frustrated, and that might be you getting very frustrated with not finding viable opportunities. You think you hear something and it's not. I highly recommend that you go to the actual site of companies that you are very familiar with. Every site typically will have a job board, and so you might have to scroll up or down to the bottom, and they'll say job opportunities, job openings, careers, things like that. You click on that and it'll open it up for you. Sometimes they may require you to set up a profile where you can put your contact information. Some companies, large companies especially, sometimes they'll allow you to select what type of position you're interested in, and they'll alert you when those opportunities come, especially around the government. Local government will have that on their job board, where once you set your profile up, you can select what your interests are, and whenever they have those posted, it'll alert you. Yes, Indeed is becoming a hassle. Indeed it is. LinkedIn is definitely one of my favorites, but I'm going to give you some ones that you may or may not be familiar with if you're looking for customer service. So the first one, and again, I hope you have your pen and paper ready. Don't try to remember this, to your mind. I'll try and go back and put in the description box some timestamps if I can. And I've done that a couple of times already, and I think that's really cool because some people just want to cut to the chase. That's why I don't do a lot of fluff and whatnot in the beginning. I really wanted to get to the point. So, niche remote job boards like Flex Jobs, and that's FLEX, like xylophone jobs, remote.co, and We Work Remotely. They specialize in vetted remote opportunities. So I hope that y'all are already familiar with that. I will put them in the chat too. And let me see. So the first one is flex jobs. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Flex jobs. Just so that you can see it, especially if you're watching this, the replay of it. So we have flex jobs, we have remote.co, and we work remotely. Let me know if you have used any of these already, um, and I'll put that up there. Okay. Let me know if you've used any of those sites, even if you're watching this on replay. Let me know what your experience has been, because, in my research, it says that these are vetted remote opportunities. And if you haven't heard of them and you're interested in customer service work, doing it remotely or hybrid, let me know that too. And I'm glad to have provided you with this great resource. All right, mainstream job boards, and they always are going to put Indeed on there. They'll put ZipRecruiter. To me, Indeed and ZipRecruiter, they mimic each other. They're the same thing. But LinkedIn, and I've talked about LinkedIn before, and I will stand on LinkedIn 10 toes down for sure. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been very successful for my clients that have followed that formula on how to use LinkedIn. So if you are very interested in a company, and when you're looking for a job, you're not just looking at the position, you're also looking at the company. You want to make sure that that company has the same values, mission, and just the same type of culture that represent who you are. You definitely want them to be a good fit, just like they want you to be a good fit. So as you're looking for new opportunities, research the companies. You might want to even research the companies first, because like I said before, companies have careers on their job board. But when you're doing that research, go on LinkedIn. Oftentimes, well established companies will have LinkedIn pages or groups, and go on there, see what they're talking about, make sure that they are relevant and are trending, that they are staying up to date with all the new processes on how to do things. And just make sure it's aligned with who you are as a professional as well. See who works for that company. LinkedIn is great because it'll tell you how many people maybe that work there that you already know, that you're connected with. It'll tell you one degree of connection, or second line of connection. And it might be someone you went to school with, high school, college. It may be someone you're in association with. So look for those commonalities. Reach out to those people and ask them, can I just bend your ear for like 10 minutes? I want to ask you about your experience working for company X, Y, and Z. And then also, if you see a position open, a lot of people will have what they do for that organization. So if you find the recruiter or a hiring manager, reach out to them and say, I would just really love to ask you a couple of questions about the position that you have posted. And I've said this before, you would be surprised at how many people will respond to that. I get those types of inboxes quite often. And I'm really impressed, because that's taking initiative. That's showing that this person really wants to know more about you, about the organization, or whatever the case. And they took that extra step to try to connect with you. So I always will grant someone some time when they do that, for sure. So do that. And I'm telling you, my clients that do it, they always end up winning. Sometimes the recruiter may tell them, well, you know what? It sounds like you may not be a good fit for this position that we currently have posted, but there's another one that's coming up. Or, I know another company that has another position that I think you'll be perfect for, and you can actually use me as a referral. And that is real. That's real talk. That happens quite often. So make sure you have a list of questions for them. Don't just ask to meet with them and stand there and be like, "Oh, yeah, hi, how are you?" No, have your list of relevant questions for them. And also make sure you know who you are and what you're actually looking for. Even if you know you may not be 100% fit for the position that you were inquiring about, make sure you let them know what your strengths are, where you would add value to that organization. And I see Albert Miranda is here in the building. Welcome in. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Sassy, thank you for welcoming them in for sure. So if you don't have your LinkedIn profile, you need to upload it. A lot of people have it, but they just say, "Oh, I just been, I don't know, I haven't done anything with it." But then you go to their Instagram account or their what's it called? What's the other one? Not Twitter, but the one that's like really quick. um, I can't believe I can't remember it. But you'll go to any other social media site that they may have, and TikTok. And it'll be filled, it'll be current, updated, it'll be, they're on there working it hard. And you wanna spread it out and spend a little bit of time over at LinkedIn too. So the next thing is the company career pages, and that's what I was just talking about. Again, large companies like CVS Health, Fidelity Investments, Conduent, they post remote roles directly on those sites too. If you have your LinkedIn page set up effectively, companies will reach out to you with suggested occupations, like, oh, this job just posted, it meets your background or your qualifications, you may be interested. I get those all the time. And that's because my LinkedIn account is, pretty thorough, and the system, it just kind of combs through all the people that are on there to see who will be a good fit. And companies pay a lot of money for LinkedIn to be able to do that for them. LinkedIn has sales representatives that sells different packages to organizations. Some organizations purchase LinkedIn learning licenses for their employees so that they can continuously upskill. And so they also sell packages where the recruiters can post positions, and LinkedIn promises them things like, we're going to source great people to you as well. We're going to recommend your positions to people that we know will be a great fit. And that's a win-win, because we can no longer post and pray, especially if you are in talent acquisition. You really need to do different types of methods to attract people to your opportunity. So those are just three different ways that, where you can find customer service jobs. Again, the niche remote job boards like flexjobsremote.co and We Work Remotely, mainstream job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, company career pages. Just like I said, you scroll all the way down. Typically, it'll say career, and you'll be able to find that information. I see Mary's Life Journey is here. How are you doing? How's everything? I hope your husband is doing well too with his recovery. It's always great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So when you do your resume, you should have a few different categories. So just under your name and your contact information, don't put your address, but your email address. Everyone is very transient. So if you're thinking to relocate, you shouldn't have your current address if you don't live where you know where you want to live. A lot of people, they don't update their resume effectively, and they'll have old addresses on there. But your email address is going to be sure shot through and through. So definitely have your name and your email address. Also, sometimes, unfortunately, and you can't control this all the time, people that review your resume may have biases. So even if you do live nearby, if your zip code is one that maybe the person reviewing your resume, they don't feel comfortable, or they may have had a bad experience there, or know someone they don't like that lives in that zip code and are like, they may know this person too. You just never know. People can be very petty like that. So you want to make sure that you just make clear out all the barriers that may come up when you are applying. So under your name and email address as well as phone number, and listen, if your email address is dropping it like it's hot, or sexy queen, or something like that, you want to have a professional email address for your job search, even if that's all you're using it for. Listen, Google email addresses, I think Yahoo is still a thing, but iClouds, those are all free. People act like they have to pay for all of their email addresses. You don't. You should have an email address for different things. So definitely have a separate one for your job search that's more professional. Maybe your first name, last initial, you can add some numbers, but don't get too crazy. Try to do it, so it's a clean email address for sure. And underneath that, if you are more of a seasoned employee, you have some years of experience, I would say title this section core competencies. Otherwise, you can title it key skills. And some of the key skills that you want to have on your resume if you're going for remote customer service jobs are communication. And communication matters to have on that. So, some people want to go into customer service jobs, but they are not good communicators. But communication, putting it on your resume, maybe even having, not maybe, but definitely having examples of how you are a good communicator. But it matters because it shows that you're clear when you talk, you have empathy, you're concise, and that's all vital across phone, chat, and email. So you want to make sure that you are a good communicator if you're going to put communication on your resume as your key skill. The next is tech savviness. And that shows that you have comfort with CRM software, ticketing systems, and troubleshooting basic tech issues. If you know a company uses Salesforce or Workday or any other type of CRM that you have experience with, you want to make sure you put that down on your resume under your education section under technology, because when they know that you are already familiar with what they use, that's another bonus, that's a plus. But they definitely want to make sure that you have tech savviness and you're familiar, you're comfortable with technology, because in customer service you're definitely going to be utilizing technology for sure. The next is organization. And the reason why you want to have that on is because it shows that you have the ability to manage multiple tasks, document interactions, and stay on top of workflows. A lot of people say multitasking is not a thing anymore. You shouldn't really use that word. And that's why organization is one of those things. Because, yeah, it is challenging. If you're multitasking too much, that means you're not doing something great. You're not giving yourself a chance to be great, because you're just doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you can only do them but so much, and it's usually like a quarter of the way or halfway. So you want to be able to say, I know how to time block, I know how to listen and take effective notes, I know how to close up something before I start the next thing. So that's what the organization means. I know a lot of people on my team, and I tell them this all the time during their one-on-ones. Listen, time blocking is one of the best forms of multitasking. You're giving yourself a set time to focus on that one task and then move on. You come to a stopping point and then you move on to the next. You give yourself a chance to breathe, to stretch, to walk around, to joke around, then you get right back to it. But that is a multitask as well. The next thing you want to put down is problem solving. And the reason why that's important is because when you are doing customer service, you really have to be an analytical thinker to resolve customer issues efficiently. Customers are going to come at you with all different things. I'm sure each call is different from the last call. And so you have to definitely be able to come up with solutions and focus on what they're saying and just analytically think through how are you going to support them, where you need to filter that call to, who is that next person, having a good memory as well and making those connections with people. The next is empathy and patience. And you want that because it shows you understand customers' emotions and maintain professionalism under pressure. You don't want to match the customers' feelings or emotions. Sometimes people may call you and they are irate, they are angry, they are frustrated, and they are taking it out on you. You have no idea who they are. They don't know who you are, but you're just the next person in line. And so you don't want to match them where they're at. You need to have more empathy and realize that, they have a problem. You're not the reason for the problem, but that's their issue of how they're communicating, but you don't want to match that. You want to have empathy and patience. And then the next will be at adaptability, and that's where you have a willingness to learn new tools and adjust to changing customer needs and technology. Y'all, technology is changing so quickly. Things are being implemented, things are not being used anymore. They're no longer relevant. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be able to pivot, you have to be able to learn and grasp that new information. You can't do it with excuses. Oh, well, this is new. That's why I don't understand it. We don't have the privilege, the pleasure, the time to say that anymore. Remember back in the day when we would learn new things and it may take us a minute to catch it? We'd be like, oh, I just learned it. I don't know. We don't have that privilege anymore. You have to get it, got it good. So definitely make sure you're taking down notes, you're writing things out, you're creating or reading through the SOPs. That's the standard operation procedures. If there's not one, create one so that you know what the steps are, and that'll help the person coming behind you, especially if you are a supervisor, manager, the owner of the business, and you're implementing this. You need to know how to do it. And when you're hiring new people on your team in your business, it may be you that have to train them. And if you have an SOP created, that'll make it so much more easier for sure. Now, those are just some of the key skills, essential skills that I recommend you put on your resume, but also read through the job description and see what skills they would like you to have. They know what their culture is. And so they're going to put down the skills that they know a person would be successful in that organization with those types of skills. And if you have those skills that they have listed, be sure to put that on your resume. So this way, the algorithm, if it's a machine that's looking at your resume and application before the human eye, it'll pass through because it's showing, okay, this person already has a lot of what we need. Their words that they use mimic our words. You definitely want to try to mirror it as much as possible, but you don't want to copy it. You want to make it your own. And it is possible for you to have had those transferable skills and experiences that they're looking for. So it's not going to be a surprise for them to see them on your resume. It's actually going to be very comforting to know, like, okay, this person, they took the time out to see who we are, what we need, and they have it. And that gives you almost a green light to get to the next level. Brit family is in the building. And Brit family, let me tell you, you weren't the only person that reached out to me about customer service remote jobs, but you're one of the reasons, Yolanda, why I am doing this. I did my research and I said, you know what? It was you. It was about five other people that reached out to me via email about, listen, Coach Sherry, I'm really interested in customer service remote jobs. What's out there? And so I'm hoping that this information is beneficial to you as well. If you're just coming in, I don't know if you just dropped down, but if you're just coming in, I highly recommend that you check it out from the beginning. Okay, so using AI effectively in customer service. Y'all, I'm taking an AI class right now, and that thing is amazing. It's amazing for many reasons. One of the reasons it's amazing, it's because this is an exciting time for our society. We haven't had this much of a change probably since the computer. We have, but see, the computer was the beginning stages of the technology age, just like social media. But this AI thing is a whole nother beast because it's going to change the way, yet again, I mean, I guess the computers changed the way we did business too, but this AI thing is really going to do something special. But I've said this before, people are nervous. They're like, oh my goodness, AI is going to take over my job. AI is going to, eliminate what I do. I don't know how I'm going to get over. I don't know how I'm going to get by. But it's not AI that's going to take over your job. It's the person who knows AI that's going to take over your job. So you want to make sure you understand AI, you understand its benefits, its shortcomings, because it has a long way to go. It's coming a long way quickly, but it has a very long way to go. So is the more that you know and you get in on it at the beginning, the better it'll be for you to catch up and keep up, you know? So that's why it's important. There's a lot of free courses being made available. I believe IBM has one. Friends of mine in Atlanta had shared that with me. And your community college may have courses, and LinkedIn Learning has courses. There's a lot of different places, and I'm going to get into that as well. Thank you so much, Sassy, for saying hello to everyone. I appreciate you. So, in terms of AI and, transforming the remote customer service roles, here's how you can leverage that. So, AI chatbots, and I had talked about that before in the CSR, customer service representative roles. You know, AI chatbots, they automate responses to common questions. It frees you to handle more complex cases. So, you need to really understand how to be more adaptable, be better with problem solving. Think about design thinking, and how you can look at things in a different way. This is going to expand your mind. So many people think AI is going to decrease how we use our mind, but if you know that AI is that support for you, that assistant for you, that can handle the basic things, and then you'll get the more complicated, complex things, then that means you have to start thinking on a different level. And that's how you can improve. And design thinking is a class, it's a course. I believe it's a major, but it's definitely a course. I actually took the program. It was about, I'm going to say 3 or 4 hours, and it was amazing. A lot of colleges have satellite campuses. A lot of colleges just have adult learning, portions to their campus. Professional development. Go to their professional development department and see what type of courses are available. Design thinking, it's not always available, but it is a real thing, and that helps you to think things through, think out of the box, come up with different and better, effective, efficient solutions. And that's what you can do to stay relevant. The next is intelligent ticket routing. AI sorts and prioritizes support tickets, ensuring urgent issues get prompt attention. So that's how you can utilize AI to sort through, to filter through, and then you would still have to deal with those urgent issues. Sentiment analysis. AI tools analyze customer messages to gauge mood and urgency, helping you tailor responses. AI will give you that moment, it'll tell you, like, listen, this person, they not feeling it, they mad as hell. You might have to reel it in or whatever, but it'll help you tailor your responses. So it'll give you that time to breathe and to really focus on how you're going to explain that situation. Also, as an agent assistant, AI suggests responses and solutions in real time, improving efficiency and accuracy. When AI gives you that, like, oh my goodness, this person is really mad about this or whatever, you could know what your response is, but talk it through with the AI. Like, you know what, I'm thinking about saying this. What you think? A lot of people name their AI some other name. So it's interesting, and again, use it almost like your partner, your assistant. Next is self-service portals. AI-driven platforms empowers customers to resolve simple issues themselves, reducing call volume. That's real, that's happening. And that's when people start really thinking like, wait a minute, if my call volume is low, then I'm not relevant anymore. But if your call volume is low, but the calls you get are very complex and you are able to successfully handle them, then you don't have anything to worry about. Now, if you get in those one or two complex questions and you are like passing the buck or I don't know, and you seeking all this support and everything, you're right. You probably won't be there but so long. Personalization. AI analyzes customer data to recommend tailored solutions and products. You know, as you're using your AI, a lot of them they allow you to compartmentalize, to section them off, and you can maybe if you have a recurring client, create a file in your AI just for that client. So every time you go back, AI is already familiar with their profile and everything. So you don't always have to give them who that person is from the beginning. AI already knows who they are. You could just say, "You remember this person? Well, listen, this is a new thing that they got going on now. And I need to find that solution," or whatever the case may be. But you definitely want to try to categorize, compartmentalize, tab all of your customers, clients, so that you easily can go back and assess and continue with the support that you provide them. So this is a tip. You want to familiarize yourself with popular customer service AI tools. And some of the popular AI tools, good to see you. Good to see you, Britt. Family fun. Some of the popular tools, and I'm going to type them in. One is Zendex, and let me see. Okay. The other is, Salesforce. Salesforce, listen, I became familiar with Salesforce in 2013, and I knew back then it was a monster. And I was like, yo, whoever learns Salesforce, knows the back office of it, you can write your own ticket. You can write your own ticket. And this was when I was doing my fellowship, and I was telling the person that was their project. I said, "You learn this in and out. Yeah, you're going to be all right." So these are the ones, and I'm going to put it on the screen. So for people that are watching this replay, you can look these up. I should have put Workday on there as well, but these are some popular customer service AI tools. So Zendesk, Salesforce Service Cloud, or Sprout Social. And if you are not familiar with them, I recommend that you look them up, familiarize yourself with them, go on LinkedIn Learning, go on Google, go on YouTube, see what you can learn about them, so that if it comes up in an interview or anything like that, you can at least say the foundational pieces of it. And it's really just about implementing and customizing it according to whatever that business needs. Okay. And yes, a lot of them do use Salesforce. Yeah, they do. Salesforce, oof. Oh, it was a beast back then. I know it probably got a lot simpler now, but now I'm actually learning Workday. So that's another thing. And I did the talent performance portion of Workday, and that right there, that was a lot. That really was. So, how to skill yourself for remote customer service? You know, you may have a strong baseline knowledge and experience on customer service. You might say, "Well, Coach Sherry, I've been doing customer service my whole career." Yeah, and that's cool. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that. But you have to continuously reskill and upskill yourself. You have to continuously pivot. You have to continuously be adaptable and understand, like, with things changing, you have to change with it. So, how do you skill yourself for remote customer service jobs? You want to take online courses. All right. I mean, you already online. You want to be remote, so you're right there with it. So you want to take courses on platforms like Coursera, and I'll write down these as well for you, like Coursera. Oh, there's one on my top of my head, and one of y'all may know it. Academy. No, it's not called Academy, but it's like that. Oh, okay. I have it right here. Udemy, and I'm typing this into y'all. And I'm a very strong proponent for LinkedIn Learning. I love LinkedIn Learning. The only challenge is that, and I'm not sure because I always have the paid version of it, but, um, and these are the courses. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to write, it's not courses for the first one. It's course, Coursera, y'all, I can't even say it. Coursera. It's getting late. I have to get ready to go. And I'm just going to write this all over so that y'all have the right spelling for it all. But LinkedIn, I'm not sure if you have to have the paid version to get all of the courses that they have, but and I'm not even sure. I always, a company always pays for me. So look into, the investment for LinkedIn Learning. But then of course we have YouTube University. You can learn a lot here as well. But what I would do if I didn't have LinkedIn Learning, and Coursera I believe is free, as well as Udemy they have free versions. See what the courses are that they are offering and write them down. Again, I hope you're writing this information down. Write them down, and then come to YouTube University, type them in, and see what comes up. And I promise you, a lot of that same information will be available on YouTube University. And I know this because, listen, y'all, I have been on YouTube now for a long, long time, since my children were in grade school, middle school. Since YouTube started, I think I was like 2 years after YouTube started. And I was introduced to YouTube because my children would come home with math, and my husband and I would be like, "What the heck? What is this math even called?" We were not familiar with the way that math was done. It was They had to compute it totally different than the way we did. So I don't know how, but I looked. I don't know if it was Google. I don't know what it was, but I would ask them, "What's the name of this?" And then I would type it in, and a video from YouTube would pop up, and it would be a person that was in front of a whiteboard, and they would do the computation, like literally almost the same ones that they had for their homework or whatever. And that person was able to show them, not show them like they didn't think they was talking to my children per se, but they was just doing this. That was part of their channel. And I'm like, this is awesome. So I know that most everything that is a course, LinkedIn or whatever, is available on YouTube. So definitely, check that out. The next is getting certified. Consider certifications. They have some really good customer service certifications, specific software, especially like Salesforce and Zendesk. So find out where those certifications are available so that you can take those courses. Sometimes they can be offered for free. You just never know. Sometimes they have specials, you know. And you want to really, that's why I'm saying IBM is they have a free AI course, and then you can put that you got that certification from that very reputable place, and that's really awesome to be able to do. But you have to do some research. Some colleges and universities, they offer, especially in the summertime, remote classes, virtual classes on demand, so that you don't have to be in the class at that same time. You just have to finish it within a time frame. Like the AI course I'm taking, I just have to be done in there's 12 courses over the course of 12 weeks, and I just have to be done with all of them before the end. So some of them I have had to double and triple up on, but I do have an accountability partner. If you're taking a certification, take it seriously. Don't just try and study for the test. Try to understand what it is that they're teaching you. That's why it's taken me a long time to get through this AI course, because I'm learning new terminology, and when I'm in meetings or if I'm talking to people about it, I want to be able to talk to them, in a professional manner. I want to be able to talk to them in an educated manner. It's because when you know what you're talking about, people, they treat you a lot different, trust. So you want to absorb that new information. Again, you want to take notes. You want to have a notebook just for that certification. So that's like your reference for the future to go back to. Also, you want to practice the tech skills. Learn to use CRM systems, help desk software, and AI powered support tools. Play around with them. There's a lot of free versions out there where you can test it out and just get the look and feel that, oh, this one is similar to that, or oh wow, I didn't know this could do this. I always wish that a system could do that. When you find that a lot of the systems in real life are similar to the other, that helps your learning curve, and that also makes you more comfortable because you're like, oh yeah, yeah, I remember I got that. It was hard, but I know it now and it's real easy. So that you won't have that fear of learning new things. So even if you go for a position and you may not be that familiar with their tools, you can let them know and give them an example of when you learn something hard, so that they can know that, okay, you can learn, because not everybody can learn, not everybody's willing to learn, not everyone's mind is allowing them to absorb new things. So you definitely want to let them know, I may not know it and be that proficient in it, but I know that from past experiences with X, Y, and Z. Give them examples. Don't just say, oh, yeah, I can become competent in that, I can become proficient in it. No, give them an example of when you were a novice in something and you learned it, and now you became a super user, or you became a trainer because you learned it so well. And that will show them, oh, okay, this person, they may not always know, but they can learn and they'll figure it out. And that's the thing. You want to be that person that will figure it out. You want to develop soft skills. You want to practice active listening, empathy, and conflict resolution through role play or by volunteering. There's a lot of organizations that, they may be training people to do certain things. It might be going down to a school. Listen, I don't know how or why, but I'm an adjunct. I know why of that. I'm an adjunct at a local college here, and with for workforce development and continuing education. And for some reason, one summer, they had me teaching senior citizens computers. I never told them that I ever taught computers before. That was never on my radar. What? And that taught me a lot, though. That taught me, how to have empathy and patience and taking my time with the training. I mean, down to what a mouse was. A lot of them didn't even know what a mouse was. So it was really interesting. It made me become more creative and innovative, trying to make it fun, interactive, but having grace for them because they really were so novice to computers, believe it or not. So, look for opportunities to do something like that so that you can sharpen up your skills. Because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And if you never had it to get, you'll never get it. So, you want to develop those soft skills. You want to stay current, follow industry blogs and forums, and keep up with trends in AI and remote work best practices. Look at associations. There's customer service associations that, even if you're not a member, you can still look at their resources that they have available for their members. Go to their websites, again, read their blogs, join some of their virtual meetings. They may have a conference coming in your area. See if you can attend the conference. They may have local meetings in person and you can network with people there. Look for opportunities to be in front of people in the industry. Listen to the conversations, listen to what's coming up, so when you are in that interview or talking with your colleagues, you will always be a think partner because they know, like, what's going on. You don't want to be a dinosaur in your own industry. You want to build a remote ready resume. Highlight your tech proficiency, communication skills, and experience with remote collaboration tools like Slack and Zoom, Teams, um, WebEx. You want to really highlight those things because if you're going to work remote, that means all of your meetings are going to be virtual. So you want to let them know, how to do breakout rooms, how to um, record the videos and send them to the attendees. You want to, and now they have AI where AI will pop in on the meetings and take notes. So you want to be familiar with that type of system as well. So you want to definitely be relevant in what you do. I see Lisa J. Stocks just walked in. Hello, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. It's really good to see you. I'm just trying to drop some nuggets for people. This is to help people that are, want customer service remote opportunities for sure. Thank you so much for stopping through. All right. Let's see what else. So this is going to be my final advice. And I know it is, y'all, because my eyes are starting to droop a little bit. I can't believe it's 11:14. I have to go. Ooh, wee, hold on. Okay, listen. So you want to apply widely. Now, I had just talked to an organization today that had called. That's another thing. If you don't see me on YouTube, I talk a lot with what I do during the day. I think a lot. I'm innovative. I'm creative. And sometimes that can drain you. But most excitingly is my new project, which is my signature courses for people that want to actually start their own business. Not talk about it, but be about it. Getting the how, the how of how to start your own business. But um, I was telling the people today for their particular population to be more intentional, not to be serial applicants, letting their clients know don't do that, not just shooting their shot, hoping it gets in the right basket, being very intentional, doing a career assessment, making sure that the job that you are going for is appropriate for you according to your skills, your experiences, and your interests. Even with customer service and it being remote, that might not be for you just because it sounds cool. Oh, I can work from home. I don't have to get dressed. Oh, I can this, that, and the other. I can work in my bed. Whatever the case may be, that really may not be for you. Consider your whole body. I know for me, I mean, I've been able to work from home for many like decades, but my body will atrophy. And I didn't realize that until COVID. And that's because, before COVID, my children were a lot younger. So even if I was working from home, I was in and out the house all day, going to their school, going to their sporting events, this, that, and the other, traveling here, there, and everywhere. But with COVID, it was a standstill. And so we inside. We not going outside. The most I would do is go take a walk in the neighborhood, sit on the front stoop, and just be like, look what's up. And my body really started to like break down low key. So for me, I need to be out and about. That's why you'll see me going to my office and being outside and doing things. You have to know that about yourself though. And if you don't, then you're not paying attention. And next thing you know, you might be, you know, 500 pounds and stiff as a brick and just not comfortable and not realizing why. Like, why am I like this? I'm home, I'm chilling. Yeah, you might be chilling too much though. So, know your personality. Some people thrive working from home. I know Coach Mean Reen, if she has that opportunity to work from home, she gonna be straight because she work out every day, do her thing, and she'll be able to do more of her thing, which is being very active. Sassy will probably do well because she walk all the time, always doing the walking challenges and such. So there are just some people that it won't matter. It'll be okay for them, but know that about yourself. And so, but I was telling them, when you are applying, you want to be very intentional. But with a customer service type of job, remote, you want to apply widely. There are many industries that hire remote customer service representatives. So don't limit yourself to one sector, to one industry. Figure out, what it is that you want to do, but know that you could do that in many industries. For instance, I was talking to a group of college students and talking to them about apprenticeships. And while I was doing my presentation, and it was a virtual presentation, one of the young ladies was like, "Oh, I see this apprenticeship in this particular." It was like a transportation department or business. And she said, "But I don't want to work in, for that kind of company, boom, boom." And I was like, "Are you mad? What they are wanting you to do is exactly what you're going to school for. That's what you want to do. And that company is not going to go out of business. It's not going to be sold overseas. It's going to be, really good money, great job security, just all those things. You can't always look at if the industry is sexy and all this and popular, whatever, whatever. Are you able to do what you want to do? That's the question. So, even with the customer service, understand that it's wide and what you do is narrow and deep, but it's wide range of sectors. You want to showcase your adaptability, emphasize your ability to learn new tools and handle change. We are in one of the most I gotta pivot moments in our lives. And if you don't pivot, not even for a moment, you'll be left behind. It's like not posting on YouTube for a week. What? You come back, don't nobody know you. And so you have to stay relevant and be able to adapt. Let them know you're taking this course. Let them know you're part of this association. You go to this conference. Let them know you just learned this new this new skill. Show that you are continuously learning. We have to be lifelong learners. Demonstrate AI familiarity. Even basic knowledge of AI powered support tools will set you apart. At this point, if your resume doesn't have some type of AI tool on it, you are already irrelevant. They need to know what type of AI tool, what type of CRMs are you familiar with. That needs to be on your resume. You need to prioritize communication. Let them know that you communicate clearly with empathy, and communication is one of your most valuable assets. Let them know that. If you have examples of that, you want to have as many examples as possible. So always remember the things that you've done well, you communicated well, and it was received, because you people can say all kind of words. I remember in one of my last team meetings, and I asked everyone, like, what do you think? And a few people was like, oh, that's great, it's going to be good. And I'm like, no, those are just words. I need to know, what do you think? And then that's when they went deeper. So go deeper with how you are a good communicator. So basically, with the right skills and being proactive with your learning, you absolutely can build a successful remote customer service career, and just really try and stay ahead of as AI continues to shape the industry, because it's continuously shaping the industry. I can't believe I see TCHBCU vibes in the building. Oh my goodness. I am getting ready to sign off. It's been almost an hour. How are you doing? Oh, listen, I have to do a whole another video. I actually did one the other day, and I was going to add clips from when I was walking to the city hall, and just saying how it was wonderful to meet a YouTuber in person. Y'all, for those of you that are in here watching this on replay, I actually met TC HBCU vibes in real life, and I'm not even going to go into it how right now, because that deserves its own video. But it is so wonderful to see you. It really is. It is. Listen, I felt like I was being really taken care of when I saw you, even though I knew people there already, but it was just another level of knowing that you know me for real. Like, you know me through YouTube, but you know me. And I just appreciate you coming through and saying something. Because some people would have been like, yeah, I think that's her. But the way that you did it was just priceless. Because I'm like, what you mean? I won't believe how we know each other. That's for the next thing. Yes, being out in the community is wonderful for sure. And that was an amazing community event. I'm still talking about it. I know that, Philly's having some challenges now with the sanitation workers and whatnot. But you know what? What city doesn't have its challenges? Any given day, any given Sunday, it could be anybody. But I'm going to tell you, the way that the directors and leaders embraced the entrepreneurs of the community, and the way it was set up, and just being in that historically um, gilded era isk building was amazing. And I just felt the love. That's why it is the city of brotherly love. But with that being said, thank you for stopping through and dropping into the chat. I really wanted to, be here and share this information for many reasons. It's because it is what I do, but also to honor the the people that have been rocking with me, checking out my videos and seeing value, and really and truly, I want to say, trusting the things that I share with them, to email me and say, you know what, Coach Sherry, I need more information on this. And Britt's family was one of them, that I can just say off now. And I'm getting ready to put my email address. So if anyone else wants to send me, like what you're interested in learning more about, I can also provide that for you as well. I'm putting my email address here. Um, so feel free to email me and say, Coach Sherry, I really need more information about how to better position myself for this type of career or this type of opportunity. What does this look like? What is the outlook? What are some things that I need to train myself up, get reskilled or upskilled in? How do I do that? Where do I go? It's my pleasure to share that. Now, if you want to go deeper, one-on-one, more specific, more customized, I can do that too. That's through my coaching, and of course that's a fee. But it's definitely well worth the value. All my clients would definitely attest to that. And again, look forward to my signature courses on how to start your own business, and I am going to do some specific businesses as well. Those will be group sessions, and I'm not accepting more than 10 people per group, so that information is going to be coming soon too. All right, everyone, that's all I have for you. I hope that you were able to catch some of these nuggets. Let me know in the comment section, especially after this video is posted, what were some things that you learned that you're going to implement, that you're considering thinking about? And also provide me with some of those success stories when you do implement those things and you land that remote customer service job. I would love that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love all those hand claps. I appreciate that as I drop the mic. But everyone, remember, every day practice. Practice so hard that when you get into play, you will always play to win. It's been my pleasure sharing this information with you this evening. I am Coach Sherry.